Well, guys, hey, welcome. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes and jumping in and joining me here. We got the whole band here. Sully, Robbie, Tony, Shannon, all the guys in Godsmack are here doing a couple of minutes here with me, and hopefully we can get through this without my dog barking or my cats trying to pull this palm tree over my shoulder down. I'm in my home studio, which I guess is part of why, after so many years, you guys are stepping away from the spotlight. You just want to be normal people, present for the normal trappings of life. But I got to ask, prediction time, who among you will be the first one to call the other guys and say, hey, want to jam?
Well, we'll never be normal people. We can try as much as we like, but man, I don't know if you call any four of us normal. But.
Okay, so when that day comes, if that day comes, are you guys gonna jam Godsmack songs, or is it gonna be anything?
I don't know, but I know that we're going on tour, and we got this really cool set, and we've been rehearsing hard here for over a week now. And it's starting to come together. Yesterday, we looked around. We sound really good now. I'm real confident. I can't wait to get out here.
But wait, does your question mean that you're assuming that we broke up by the announcement?
No.
Oh.
No, I mean, you
said when you guys finally get together and jam, what kind of songs are you gonna jam? We're together right now jamming because we're going on tour.
No, I'm talking, a year from now, 2 years from now.
We're always going to play Godsmack stuff when we get together because we're getting together for a purpose, obviously. But then, jamming covers and stuff that we also enjoy, fun, usually just kind of happens naturally. So it'll always be both, I'm sure.
So I've done a bit for the radio station over the years where I would bring a band who's now touring in huge buses, and they're flying all over the world, and they're playing amazing shows. And I shrink them down back into a tiny little radio station van and have them play an acoustic song. And some bands really struggle with taking their electric sound that's basically all they've played for years and years and years, and then trying to retool that maybe on the fly for acoustic. Can you guys walk me through some of the challenges of preparing for this very special tour that you're on right now, as opposed to a typical tour?
Well, I'll let one of these guys take that one, but I will just say that this is not a strictly acoustic tour, so we just want to clear that up. There'll be acoustic performances, but there'll also be fully electric and a mixture of a lot.
I think this band came from the club scene, so we always jammed, and we never had Pro Tools, we never had any of that stuff. So from the beginning, we would have the acoustics out. We'd always play. We'd screw around with covers, and we're in the back of the bus always playing. So we've been doing this for a long, long time. So it's not that hard. It's more about learning the songs and then playing the feel of what he wants at that particular time.
How do you guys predict that each individually you're going to scratch your creative itches? I mean, are we going to hear 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, a new single from band X featuring Shannon Larkin, featuring Tony Rambola? Like how are you guys?
Side projects and stuff.
Yeah. We've always had the side projects. Always put solo records out for, decades now, right? I mean, it's been.
Well, I did a couple. It just took a long time to get them out.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like these are impossible questions, really. We're four dudes, and we're kind of like, God, it's like sobriety almost, one day at a time, man. My focus now is on this beautiful vibes tour that we're putting together. We're right in the thick of it. So I can't really think about what I'm going to think next year. You know what I mean? Like, we have this beautiful thing going on that I want to be in. I'm going to live right now in this moment, man. And people keep saying, oh, your final record and all this big question. But
yeah, but I think what he's saying is, like, when it's all said and done and we're all chilling at home, like, and a couple of years goes by, what are you going to do to scratch the itch if you feel creative?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. We already do that, all of us, right? I mean, yeah, we've been doing, we're musicians. So this is our life, and Godsmack has been, the focus of our life. So as we get older and Godsmack might free up, work less and free up more time for us, then yes, we are going to make music. That's what we do. We're going to make music.
Well, we won't be opening restaurants anytime soon, put it that way. If we have to go out and do something, it's probably going to be music.
Well, I mean, it's obvious.
He's got a sausage cart he's working on now. Sausage and onions. He's gonna push it around Cape Coral.
Well, do any of you find moments where you're thinking, man, this is it?
You wanna go?
Moments that when we think it's it for music.
Yeah, they're like,
just for the band, just for for where you are now.
Band
I mean, I got to think at some point we're getting pretty old. I don't know how long you're supposed to do
it. Don't ask Keith Richards that question.
Yeah, I guess you can do it forever.
No one gave him that memo.
I'll be 60 this year, so I don't know. I'm not really sure how long you're supposed to go.
0 lineup changes since 2003. How do you guys? What do you attribute the ability to maintain? Just clearly you guys are still such close friends. You want to be in a room together, playing music or on stage together. Like, to what do you attribute that consistency over the years?
We're all professional, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've always show up on time. We work hard. Sully's been our leader, and we follow his lead, and that's really all there is to it.
Yeah, and it's I'm sure you've heard every artist tell you this, but it really truly is like a marriage, right? So there's times where you're just not feeling each other or you're not getting along. There's other times where you feel like you're best friends. There's other times where it's something in between. But Tony's right. In the end, we have a job to do. We run a company. We run a partnership, right? And we have put collectively, like 30 years into this project. And so we've built a hell of a fan base, and we have a responsibility to those people as well, right? Now, is that going to be the rest of our lives? Are we not allowed to enjoy our lives away from the fans and the music? No, of course we can, right? So we can step away whenever we need to now, because it's about self-care, and it's about taking care of our, making sure that we keep some of that for our family, our friends, and just ourselves, right? To stay balanced and healthy. But, we also, there's a big part of this too that isn't ours. It doesn't belong to us anymore. It belongs to the people, the fans. And we have to be able to honor that. And that's why we continue to do what we do until the day comes where one or many of us decide, like, I'm just going to retire from the business. And then that decision is made and we take it from there. But right now, we're honoring the catalog. We've put a lot of years into this, right? A quarter of a century. We have 27 top 10 singles. We have 13 number ones. Yes, I'm bragging a little bit. But at the same time, that has earned the freedom for us to do what we want to do when we want to do it, because we've given 25 years to the people, hardcore with hardly any breaks. And so now we want to honor the music and kind of treat it like we would go see our favorite bands. Because when you go see Aerosmith, right, you don't want to really see them play the new record, do you? You want to make sure you see Dream On and Train Kept a Rollin' and Same Old Song and Dance and Walk This Way. So that's how we're trying to look at this as well. Like, we did have a lot of success, and I'm sure that people want to hear I Stand Alone and Keep Away and Voodoo and blah, blah, blah. So we only have so much time in a show to be able to play as many of those popular ones as we can. And we're not even able to get into the deep cuts anymore as much. So it's time to honor the catalog. And it's why we paused or decided to stop making new music for now and just go out there and enjoy the live shows and enjoy the catalog.
I found some footage a few weeks ago, just as I was doom scrolling on Instagram, probably on the toilet, of Rammstein and Till Lindemann. He's holding this cannon, which, people around here would call it a potato gun. It's about 4 feet long, and he's got 2 ladies in skimpy outfits stuffing fish into the barrel of this gun, and he's firing them out into the crowd. And look on his face, says, "I can't believe this is my life." In a good way. He's like, "I can't believe I'm doing this." Can you guys run through some of the things over the years that have really astonished you? Like, this is my life. This is what we get to do for a living.
God, that's a great question. Like, how, again, like, God, these impossible questions. If I could just in the last week name like miracles that have happened to this band and me, I don't know. Like, but like, for moments, do you want like specific moments?
Yeah, just something that blew you away. I was at a Slayer show once, and there was a guy crowd surfing in his wheelchair. The whole pit had lifted this guy up, and he was 4 people back from the stage at a Slayer show in a wheelchair. And I was like, that's amazing.
We've seen many wheelchairs on top of crowds. We've seen fake legs,
body parts come up on stage, like prosthetic legs and shit.
But I mean, like my thing, like you know, when I joined the band and I had never earned a gold record. And then, you know, I find myself say, Sully, man, I'm going to get a gold record because Faces had come out and it was selling like hotcakes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get a gold record. And it's back like 2003, you know, and so I was like, well, dude, you know, it's probably going to go platinum and these things cost money. So you're not going to get a gold, but platinum's better. And I said, oh man, I want a gold. And he said, sorry. Well, anyway, flash forward months later, we're on the road with the mighty Metallica and we're in England. And Sully said, it's my birthday, April 24th. So I said, hey man, you know, I got a birthday thing for you. But I'm going to blindfold you, but trust me, I'm not going to mess you up or anything. And I said, all right, trusted him. He brings me in the room. It's my band, these three guys and Metallica, all four of them holding up this gold plaque that Sully had like custom made for me. To this day, that was just a moment that made my whole like young rock and roll dreams come true, you know? And but like I said, there's hundreds of those moments that, you know, someday it's going to be a great book.
We don't even have one of those gold records, actually. Ours went right to platinum, so we get the platinum version, which is fine. But he actually has the one and only one of one gold record from the Faceless album, which is cool, though, because you need, you know, your first record has to be a gold record. That's the rule.
Yes.
Joe Walsh said so.
Are there things that you guys have said and done on stage over the years that you know are corny as hell, that make your eyes roll at each other? I'm thinking of bands when they say things like, this is the best crowd we've ever had on this tour, which I'm always thinking you probably said that last night and the night before last. You know,
I have such a good one. I don't even need to hear the rest of the question. I have such a good story about this. Also, I'm noticing I'm not this short. People know I'm short, but it does really look like I'm super short. I am in a chair, just so you know. I do have a little height. It's like, damn, what if they just really think like, wow, Sully that short?
Hey, look at the size of his head.
I just got my haircut too. That shit's short. So, okay, we're going to rewind back to, I'm going to say it's late 90s, early 2000s when we were doing large theaters at this point, right? We had graduated into like larger room theaters, like 2,000-3,000 seaters. And we were doing a show at the House of Blues. I believe it was the House of Blues. That's not important. What's important is I was in the zone at this point in my life, in my career, where there would be a certain kind of part of the show where I had it a bit structured, and I would do these beer bomb things that I learned from Dimebag, where you fill up a half a red Solo cup with beer and you chuck them as far as you can and see if people can catch them without spilling it. And so I was in this part of the show and getting the crowd fired up and get everybody on their feet. And then I just kind of noticed that there's this one person in the balcony and they're just not standing up no matter what I said. So I start ripping into them. I mean, like hardcore. And then I'm like, if, you know, you're either too drunk or too old to be in here with all of us cool people, and just blah. And I could see the people standing around. I'm going like, you got to, no, just stop saying, just stop using your mouth right now. Like basically stop talking. And sooner or later, I kind of glanced down and I noticed that like people are pointing down at the person that won't stand up because they're in a wheelchair. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man. I don't know. How do I backtrack out of this one? So then any show after that became, unless you're fucking too drunk or in a wheelchair or pregnant, you need to get the fuck up. Like now there's rules to that fucking, to that order. But yeah, that was one that it was, you know, it was the hand to the forehead moment.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then, then the dude stood. He stood. He got up and shaking and friggin' held his hands up. And everyone was like, oh my God, it's a miracle moment. It actually was a punchline to that story. I almost forgot to tell you. The fucking dude stood up, man. We were like, okay, there it is. See, the power of the music.
Guys, we played the new single last night on the air for the first time on the planet, Truth. Everybody loved it. Out of all the votes, I think it got 91% like thumbs up smash votes, which, hey, it's pretty damn good. If 9 out of 10 like it, it's a damn pretty good song. Nice. So we're excited to keep playing it. It's an emotional song. I think people are going to really, you know, gravitate towards once we play it more and more. Is that one that we're definitely going to hear on this tour as you guys are coming to the Peace Center in Greenville March 9th?
For sure. Yeah, and thank you for playing that, because, you know, the one and only other time we released a rock ballad style song was when we took a chance with Under Your Scars. And What is that? Harley, shut up. My dog's eating a fucking toy right now. Ripping the stuff off. God, so distracting. Such an emotional moment. Yeah, no. So we took that chance with Scars, you know, and we were real hesitant to release that too, because we're like, man, like, is this a good idea? You know, we don't know. We love the song. We're just musicians, you know. We enjoy creating. So the song came out great, we felt. But, you know, to release it to the public and represent that as the new Godsmack track, we were a little bit like, this is a huge roll of the dice here. But it went so well. I mean, the thing has gotten over 100 million views on YouTube, right? So we felt like, okay, that's cool. You know, the crowd, the fans have embraced that we have versatility in our music. It's not always going to be, you know, Bad Religion and 1,000 horsepower, which is great because it gives us that freedom to create more too and create more beautiful music that we also enjoy. So we're really hoping that one does really well. And so we appreciate you getting behind it. We want the people to hear it. We believe in the song. We believe in the melody, the chorus. And, you know, unfortunately, it comes from a very raw, organic, realistic place in my life that this actual event happened to me while we were writing this record, by the way. This whole band was there and supported me through a really fucked up time when someone betrayed me in, you know, which was supposed to be some of the, you know, healthiest and best times in my life and in our life. And so we had to actually stop the session and we just disconnected the whole thing for like 6 months because I had to go through this process, right? So this really comes from a raw place and it's about as vulnerable as I've ever written, you know, lyrically. So.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure chatting with you here for a couple minutes. I will see you at the show March 9th, Peace Center in Greenville. This will be probably my 8th, 9th time seeing you guys perform live. So I'm stoked. We never actually had FaceTime until today. You know, I have to come 25 years deep into your career to actually, you know, see you guys face to face. So hopefully we'll be able to make that happen. Coming up on March 9th, 2,000, little over 2,000 cap room. I think you guys might be just the second quote unquote, like hard rock or metal band to ever play this venue. I know Evanescence has played this venue years ago. I mean, this is a fancy hoity-toity venue. So I'm excited to see you guys in this setting. This is going to be a blast.
It's going to be cool. It's definitely going to be a musical journey for people, you know? And so thank you again for all your support. And by the way, you're a really good interviewer. This has been a pleasure talking to you. Seriously, like some people don't know how to do this. You got the shit down.
Thanks, man. Hey, it's the last 2 years co-hosting and producing a sports talk radio show. So I've learned the craft doing it that way. So it's a lot better than, hey, tell me what your influences were on this record, you know? It's a lot of people ask those dumb questions.
Yeah. Where'd you come up with the name of the band? Bye.